Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Welcome to a new episode of Steven from the All Time Podcast. I am your host, the Ayatollah of Hip Hop, the whole damn show, the Rated R podcaster, and one half of the podcast tag team champions of the world. I hear the ECW chants all the way from Philly because tonight's special guest, just dropped his new EP, ECW, Extreme Charismatic Wiseguy. He is the whole effing flow. He's not no disgraziat. If you don't mind indulging him, dim the lights. He's my Italian paisan from Philadelphia, the ECW champion himself, J fucking Rhymes.
Ooh, too sweet, baby. You already, man. How you
Yo,
doing, brother?
I'm good. Yourself, man? It's great to have you here. It's great to really, really have you here. It's been a long time coming.
Absolutely. Also, ciao, come stai, man?
I love it that you're Italian. I think that's why we get along so well, is because
Oh
you're
yeah.
Italian.
Oh yeah, man. You know what the thing about Italians is like we love to have fun, man. We love to eat good food. We love to have fun. We love to dance, party, listen to amazing music. You know what I mean? So we're just very like we're just that culture, man, and and
Hmm.
I, and I love us, man. I love and you know what? A lot of people around the world, even if they're not Italian, they love the Italian food. They love the um the the scenery of Italy itself. The just that man, there's so much to offer in the culture, man. You know, it's a beautiful thing, man, and I love it, man. You repping Canada, I'm repping the States. You know what I'm saying? But the bloodline for real, the motherland, Italy. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Are you Calabrese?
You know, I think I'm somewhere. I forget where in the. I might be up in the north or like kind of maybe like in the middle
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay.
I gotta run that back, but I don't want to give my DNA to the website. I'm not. I'm not. I'm
I
not
love
doing
it.
that. I'm not putting my DNA on the internet, bro. It's just no way. It's not
Um,
happening.
so I'm happy to have you here. You
Thank you,
just
brother.
dropped the EP on April 1st,
Yes,
available
absolutely.
only exclusively on Bandcamp.
For now, so by the time this comes out, uh, it should be on Pocket the Plug because I mean, like, if you're in the underground, if you're trying to get it anywhere, like on other channels or radars, like Pocket the Plug, I recommend it. He shows a lot of love from France.
Hmm.
Shows a lot of love to the underground. I mean, like literally, I have so many videos like and playlists saved from Pocket's channel.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know how I came across him. Probably listening to one of the artists that he uploads, and so yes, it will be on YouTube, but no streaming, unfortunately, because WWE, man, they might they might get me. They
I
might
love
get
it.
me for the copyrights, but yeah, man, Bandcamp. Bandcamp is like, bro. I put out a couple songs on all streaming platforms a couple years ago, and I cleared more from Bandcamp in about a week than I did from those songs that I put out like a couple of years ago.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy, yeah. So I really I like Bandcamp. It's for the artists. It's for the supporters. The real people that want to actually really like fully support you and not just say they do on Instagram. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And look, Bandcamp is the way to go for artists. That's what I like to go on Bandcamp. That's why I like to purchase on Bandcamp because the
yeah.
percentage of it going to the artist and the support that the artist gets from it is super important in today's climate. 100%. 100%. And
Oh,
I get
dude.
why you do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I have to. I mean, and I feel like everybody tries to drive everybody all these different, they want to make it accessible, and it's like it's here. This is the only place, and if people don't realize that, you can stream it. You don't need Bandcamp to stream the record. Like you
Hmm.
can listen to it in your browser. It works in your browser. You know, I don't know for sure how it works with like Spotify or maybe Apple Music, but like I hope that if if anybody downloads the album, hopefully it'll go in your Spotify player, in your Apple Music. I think maybe it does it for Apple Music,
Apple,
um,
yeah.
but but I don't think Spotify, and that's shame on you, Spotify, for if you guys don't do that. But I mean, literally, you can download the audio files. I'm a big audio files guy. I still download music from the internet. I still rip CDs to my computer. So, you know, it's fun for me at least. I don't know. Other people, I guess they just don't have the time. So
it's
it is
it's
what
the
it is.
heart of being a fan of music is being able to have the product in your hand, opening it, looking at the booklet, looking at the artwork, and being able to put it on your computer, to rip it to your computer and put it on an iPod or whatever you want to put it on, right?
I gained so much knowledge from reading the liner notes of an album. Like I used to spend like hours just going through all the CDs I had, reading the credits, wanting to know who the engineer was, and then it's like boom, like years later, I see Eddie Sancho's name.
Mm-hmm.
Like he mixes and masters like a lot of like Alchemist records and like Evidence and like a bunch of other hip hop artists that I really love. Good Young Guru is another one. Like so I learned these names like from reading these album liner notes and stuff, and it was just a part of the fun journey. Like I remember like getting one of Linkin Park's albums back in the day, and how I found out about new artists was because I would read the like special thanks, and like list off a bunch of bands and rappers that, and I seen like Alchemist name. I was like, what the, I was
Mm-hmm.
blown away. I was like, that's awesome that they're using their platform to showcase and respect other artists that they've shared the stage with, or artists that they just like and
Mm-hmm.
have collaborated with. I think that's a very lost art that is on the people right now. So that needs to make a comeback instantly. But
So
yeah, man.
so let's get into the album. There's a lot to unfold. Um, it's 4 songs, 12
Yeah.
minutes, but I
12
find
minutes of
that
madness.
yes, and there's a lot going on in those 12 minutes. There's a lot of stuff that you're saying. There's a lot of stuff that you're unfolding. The references. Um, I find that on this, the 4 songs are enough, but I want more at the end of it. Okay,
Doesn't everybody?
and that's why I love that you just did 4 songs, because it wants the listener wanting more, right? It wants the
Yeah.
listener to get invested more into the artist. And I love that about it. Also, what I love about it is the artwork. Okay. And I want to get into the artwork before we get into anything else. You're a huge ECW fan. I know that right off the bat. Why that cover?
I mean, I almost and I hate to say it, but I almost want to say why not that cover?
Mm-hmm.
Like I you know so like let me just say this really quickly about the album, and I'll get deeper into the cover and how that came about. Um, Generally, this record, like, it came together rather later than sooner. I have another EP already ready to go. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but um, this album, like, I mean, it literally took me 15 years to get to this point to have something naturally fall into place. Like, it was the greatest feeling ever. Like, putting the album together in like 6 hours or so, like having most of like all the recording done and all that, it was incredible. And just all the little things that make it stand out and make it extra about the album, like those were put together within that 6 hours. The artwork, I had started doing that, I think maybe a little bit before I went in to finish, like put the record together, and I wasn't sure how it was going to come out. Shout outs to Stu Tender cover art, probably one of the most popular cover artists. She's amazing. An incredible woman, an incredible artist from Russia, I believe.
Wow.
And I just, I get lost in the cover art. Like every single piece. Like, I mean, if you go on Stu's page, like you'll see like she's got it, man. She's got it. And I handpicked all these pictures. Like I was really scrolling on Instagram looking for and I wanted to make kind of like a collage because that's what I am. Like I feel like I'm a collage of different things. Like ECW is just like a quarter or maybe less of like what makes up like me and my personality and like who I am. And I wanted the best of the best on this cover. Like so everybody on the cover, I'll list everybody on the cover. I got Rhino taking a chair shot from RVD. I got Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk. I got New Jack and Sandman. All so there, those four are all like bloodied up, because that's, I mean, that's very much ECW. Um, I got Johnny, I believe it was Johnny Grunge with the no parking reserved for ECW sign. Sabu putting someone in a clutch with the barbed wire. Guido, I mean, come on, you can't have ECW without the FBI, full blooded Italians. You know what I
Love it.
mean? And then you got Paul Heyman surrounded by all the wonderful divas on the cover, and I saw that picture and I was like, this is it. Like that, I think that was the last picture when I saw Paul, and it just like made so much sense when I saw that picture of Paul Heyman, Beulah, Francine, and Kimona, uh, or Missy Hyatt's in there too. So it just, and then with him getting the, the Hall of Fame, like it's just, I was like, man, this is just so destined. Like all these pictures, and the initial, when I got the initial cover back, I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, and then we made a couple of adjustments here and there, not much. And then the back cover came about, and that was a lot of fun too. Like everything I did, bro, like I was very methodical about this. I wanted to make sure that, this is ECW. It's such a, like ECW is such a sacred, it's such a sacred thing, and whether it's in wrestling or entertainment or whatever the case may be, it's so sacred, it's so protected, like it's so special. And I've heard people do their little ECW things, and it's cool. I respect it because at the same time they're fans. They support it. They love it. They respect it. So they want to do it. Sometimes it's not done in the best taste, I think, and I'll firmly stand on it. I don't think anybody's ever done ECW rap like me, and or at least making hip hop music that has such an ECW influence. Nobody's done it like me, and I'm proud to say that I'm the king of that hill. Like, and I challenge and welcome anybody. And you know what also works for me too, because like I'm from here. This is my shit. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can have your little New York stuff, or your California or whatever, whatever. It's all respect. I love it. But ECW, that's Philly. That's me all day. Born and raised here. So it's just, there's a lot of reasons why I did this project. There's a lot of meaning behind this project, but doing the cover art, man, like it's just so gratifying. It's so pleasing. Like just
Mm-hmm.
me looking at it, it's all the extremities of ECW. All the like I would say all these pictures make up my personality. That's the
Explain.
thing. That like
That's what I want to get into. Explain that because you've mentioned it twice. Me listening to the album, me listening to all four tracks, I could see it. Like I see it. We've spoken many times and I understand why, but I want people to understand whether you're a wrestling fan or not, just what that means.
so as I'm sitting here looking at this picture, like I would say that like the RVD chair shot to Rhino. I think that's, to me, that one sticks out first because like I'm Rob's like top five for me. I mean, he's arguably one of the best wrestlers of all time. That you know that chair shot, I could either be Rhino or I could be Rob. And when I say I could be Rhino, I think people have tried to tear me down in this game. I think people have tried to get me with the chair shot. You know what I mean? And get me the fuck out of here. You know, for a lack of better term, words or whatever. But you know, I'm in a way I'm sort of a disruptor. You know, I just keep coming back. You know, and I think also at the other side of that, where it's like Rob, I think that's me giving a chair shot to all these rappers or you know the industry to disrupt, you know, and say, here I am. I'm the extreme charismatic wise guy, and I'm doing this for real. Like, find anybody else that's doing this shit better than me, please. And I have no problem saluting and respecting other people. You know, if you got it, you got it. You know what I mean? And honestly, like, let's see a couple other pictures here. Like, I mean, Guido, that's pretty. I would say that's pretty self-explanatory. You know,
Absolutely.
because you know it's Guido, man. You know, if you know, you know. That's it. Sabu with the barbed wire, putting this guy in a camel clutch. Again,
Classic.
that's a classic move. Sabu is the goat. I love him. I mean, seriously, that's my brother. I really like to call him a friend. You don't get to call many people a friend in this industry. You know what I mean? So to really like call Sabu a friend is like, and why would I not put him on the cover? He's the innovator. He's a staple of ECW, and that's what I feel like how I am with this music. Um, you know, seeing you know Hack, aka Sandman, New Jack, Terry Funk, Tommy Dreamer. You know, Sandman, Funk, and Dreamer are also again staples. They were there when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling. Their blood, their sweat, their tears, all over ECW. Man, Terry Funk, like, bro, people don't realize like Terry Funk like really made ECW. And he's an OG. Like he really like he was an OG for real. Like putting over this small time promotion in Philly. Like, bro, go back and watch some of the Eastern Championship Wrestling videos. They're hilarious. There's there's this tag team called the Super Destroyers, and then they have this manager called his name's Hunter Q Robbins the third, but but Terry Funk would call him the turd.
It's
I'd be rolling.
it's
I'd be
Terry Funk.
rolling,
It's Terry
dude.
Funk, right?
He made it so good. Like Jimmy Snuka, uh, Road Warrior. I think it was Hawk. Uh, when LOD Road Warriors kind of split up. I mean, they had Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, you know, rest in peace. The Don Morocco, like Paul E was there. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you see the like the early, like, bro, you see so much awesome stuff with, and it all accumulates with Terry Funk in a way because he's like the top guy of this promotion. Like, I mean, he's had so many classic matches with, you know, with Sandman, with Cactus Jack, with Sabu. I mean, the barbed wire match with Sabu. That's like one of my favorite matches of all time. Um, and lastly, again, it comes back to Paul on the last photo. Paul is just the greatest, literally to me, the greatest mind in wrestling ever. I don't think anybody could really compete with him
Never.
personally.
Never.
Not
It's it
not to say that there's even a competition, but it's like, you know, I was watching the WrestleMania podcast from you guys earlier.
Thank you.
Great job, by the way. Everybody had really good opinions. Everybody had something really solid to say.
Thank you.
What I believe it was. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your friends, one of your friends' names.
Probably Derek.
Yes, the one
Yes.
that best there ever is, or best. Yeah,
Yes.
So what he said about Paul, like, says it perfectly. Like, I'm the type of guy where, like, I'll say this about Paul Heyman. There would be no Attitude Era without Paul Heyman.
I agree.
There would be none of that. None of that. All like all the talent that WCW acquired to one up WWF at the time. Like, and I don't give a fuck. I'll say WWF. But like, but like they they really took the best of ECW. WCW took the best of ECW, and I'm glad that uh WWF like saw the reality of working with ECW and that it was very good for both parties. Like
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I'm glad WCW never happened. I'm glad none of that ever happened. Like I
D-
mean they got the talent for sure. They acquired the talent 100%. But angles and invasions and all that. And it's crazy too because I was with to see Sandman. And so this past weekend at WrestleMania, I know I'm talking a lot, but
I love it. Continue.
To see Sandman and Savio Vega standing next to each other and talking about Mind Games 1996
Wow.
was nothing
Wow.
like it. It's incredible. I was like I'm getting goosebumps just sitting there just seeing those two. Like and also Savio Vega doesn't know me from Adam, and I got a joint in my hand and he tries to grapple me for it.
Really?
Bro, it was the craziest vibe all weekend. We're gonna get into stuff,
That's
but
amazing.
anyway, but listen with Paul, the again the last piece of the puzzle for the cover, like he's the greatest mind of wrestling ever, and I feel like I'm the greatest mind of hip hop, wrestling, and all the things that I'm really good at, and that's being Jay Rhymes, and that's being me, authentically me. And that's what I think of when I think of Paul Heyman. I think of how he's authentically him at the end of the day, and that's what ECW is to me, you know?
So,
So,
so growing up in Philly, ECW was probably one of the most important things for you. It was part of your childhood. It was part of your
oh
high
yeah.
school years. It made you into the man that you are. And let's be honest, wrestling does that to us.
It was done by high school, unfortunately. Before high school, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I couldn't watch ECW WWE for long. It stopped like mid 2008, but yeah, I'm 30, so like I caught some of it. I
Okay.
didn't catch all of it, but what I did catch was incredible. Like because it was local, it was on at like 1 or 2 in the morning, like real late, And I've always been like one of those like night owls. I like to, even now, like staying up overnight, like just because I'm just binge watching like Eastern State Championship wrestling right now.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
so I mean, it's definitely been a staple, but also WWE is has been a staple, you know, obviously for sure. But the first wrestling that I watched was ECW, 100%.
So getting back to the EP, the album. There's 4 songs. Why did you decide just to go with 4 songs?
That's just the way it came out, man. You know, I felt like, what am I gonna force more songs for? Like I've definitely toyed with the idea of doing more, maybe doing a reloaded version, but it's just the way it came out. You know, um, I think if I had tried to do more songs, it would well one for sure it wouldn't have came out by WrestleMania week and all that. Definitely wouldn't have happened because I'm such a perfectionist, man. I overanalyze everything, and I just wanted to be happy with 4 songs. I wanted to give enough away, but not too much. Kind of like to just keep you wanting to go back to the record. And I feel like just even still, like with these 4 songs, the record is like it just feels big,
Oh yeah.
you know. Because and it has to be because it's only 4 songs. I only got 4 songs to really impress people, and and I tried to make, again, I wanted to make it so that it wasn't too long, but it was long enough to where people could sit through it and enjoy it, and it feel like one cohesive thing, even though it's four tracks. I want it to feel like a journey. I want it to feel like I went into the mindset of making this record like as if I was in the locker room hearing beats, writing to these beats in the ECW locker room, or I'm cooking it right there in the locker room as I'm waiting to go out for a match. I'm just writing this shit. That was the whole mentality of this record. I wanted to feel like this is what hip hop music sounds like from ECW. From a guy that's from Philly that loves hip hop and loves ECW. This is straight out of Viking Hall. The locker room in Viking Hall. For real. And I've been in that locker room, man. And there
Wow.
to see, just to there's like an energy in there, man. There's like a presence in there that's like beyond everybody in that place. It's truly, at least for me, and it's crazy because it's like you see all these legends. Like I've again, like I've been in the locker room. I've seen like all these ECW legends, and like it's something. It's just crazy as like I was marking out like this past weekend. Like I was really marking out to see like an RVD just warming up
That's
backstage.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it
That's
was it
crazy.
was it was something special, and
Uh,
something like that fuels this record, fuels four songs, and again, man, these four songs like they just came together so naturally, and it's funny because originally it was supposed to be three songs, um, but the first song was the last song that I put together on the record.
it's an amazing
Um,
intro. It's a fantastic way to start the EP. It brings you in, and when I'm listening, it's like I'm in a continuous hardcore match, but there's a storyline throughout the songs. If
yeah,
if if
I
if you understand
oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying,
oh
and
yeah,
and what I love about it is, yes, there's the wrestling references, and the ECW wrestling references are phenomenal on the whole thing. As a wrestling fan, I get everything. Okay, your rhyming is at a top tier level. Okay, and the reason why is because you talk about different things also, right? You talk a lot about dark times on it, and uh, how it took you so long to get here. Okay, and that's what I want to touch on with you. You talk a lot about those dark times, and that you mentioned before 14, 15 years to put something like this together. Uh, but your emotions are showing on this album.
good.
And wrestling, a lot of people when they watch wrestling, they're just like, yeah, it's just fake. It's just guys hitting each other. They're just doing hardcore matches. And a lot of what people don't understand about wrestling is that there is a lot of emotions in wrestling. There's a lot
Just
of
gonna say,
there's a lot of storylines in wrestling. So that's why this
yeah.
album blends so well. But Dark Times taking you a while to get here. Elaborate on that for me, because as a listener, like I said, yes, four songs, but I want to know more. I want to know more about J Rhymes. I want to know more about your journey and getting there. And like, I know you're a wrestling fan. I know you love ECW. But I want to
Yeah.
know. I want to know more about the J Rhymes. And this is why it's great that we're together having this conversation, because you can elaborate on that.
So I'm I'm kind of a little bit cryptic sometimes, but this is what I will say. I'll touch more in depth on that on the next EP,
Beautiful.
because because a lot of people, someone said to me one time, I can't connect to your music because I don't personally know you. Um, and I don't want to be that guy, but I want to be real, and like, not everybody has to personally know every little thing going on in my life, and it's not anything negative. It's really just, some people kind of, I feel like, they have their own things they got to work through. You know what I mean? And part of that for me is me working through it through the music. And I'd rather, let the music do the talking, if that makes sense. I don't feel like always unburdening on people, and not everybody needs to know every little personal thing that's like going on in my life, because a lot of people have a lot of their own things going on, you know, and you know, I want to personally put out a side that like honestly, I don't even think it's gonna sound crazy. I don't even think there's any really wrestling references on my next EP. Like
Wow.
this is just straight vulnerable me and what I've been through in life, you know. Um, I think there was a point, maybe through the pandemic up until a certain point, maybe like a year or two ago, where I was just kind of going and I'm like, damn, like I'm almost 30, you know, I need to figure something out and I need to get it together. And, and I owe it to a few things happening that kind of like put me in this position to where like I've kind of been given a new life through this ECW project. Like this project, that's why I wanted this project to come out first, because I feel like it's a nice mix of my personality on the surface level. Like this is just a taste of what you're gonna see. You're gonna see more extreme charismatic wise guy for sure. This isn't the only thing I'm doing with this. Like I love this. Like I took time to really curate this project, so you're gonna see more of that. But as far as the vulnerable side of me in dark times and all that, that's gonna be on the next EP.
Okay.
Um, and the vibe is completely different with that one. That's all I can say. But dark times through this, man, you know, everybody has their own dark times, and if anybody can relate to anything through what I'm saying and it makes them feel better, then, you know, I'm glad to know that. And, I guess that's my job well done for the day. So,
When I drop rhino bars, this is my therapy for my scars.
yeah, straight up, man. This is like, this shit has been therapy for me because I don't go to therapy. I've been like, I've done that for a long time. I've done that through a majority of my life, like in different phases, and like I got to get right with me at the end of the day. Like self work is all about you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you got to have that will. And if you don't, then you don't got a way. You know what I mean? So, um, that I've just like this, like doing this project, like I feel so good. I feel unlike anything I've ever felt in my life. Truly, it's been like a bit overwhelming too at the same time. And I'm just grateful to anybody that cares about what I'm doing and sees the vision and cares, you know. Like I, I almost want to say like I make music for people who care, which is the rare few, you know. And I'd rather have that than a bunch of fake people. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
You,
And
you,
you're a real one too, so you know what I'm saying? And I knew you were real like the second we, you know what I'm saying, we connected in Suplex, no less. Shout out to Suplex Vintage Wrestling, you know.
absolutely. That store was overwhelming for me. You said you were overwhelmed with this. When I walked in there, it was too overwhelming for me. I,
When
I
I
wanted I wanted to leave. I was claustrophobic the whole time in there. I couldn't breathe. It like it's weird saying that, but just being there was just like I don't know in which direction I'm going.
Man, it's crazy. If you were at the old store to see the transformation from the old store to the if you scroll back like back on some old posts, you might be able to kind of see it. But to go from that to the new spot, yeah, man. Shout outs to the Suplex guys, the winner circle, as I
Amazing.
like to call them. But we met in there, and I could tell that you were real and you were authentic, and getting to know you and watching the podcast and
Thank you.
seeing how you and Trap and Derek and Dean all have um what I think are really well formulated opinions, whether I agree or disagree. I think everybody has valid points, and um, yeah, and I can just appreciate that, and most importantly yourself, because you know this is you're like the head of the table. You know what I mean?
I love it.
but but yeah, brother. So I make this music for people that are authentic, that are original, that care. A lot of people try to discredit in the mainstream. I think people, it's like I live by, you either get it or you don't. It's very simple. It's you either get it or you don't. Like, and if you don't get that, then I don't know, man. And that's kind of how I am. Like there's, I don't want to say there's, maybe for other people there's an in between with me. I kind of like him. He's okay. Whatever. Like, I'm gonna get that. I expect that. But I mean, you either like me or you don't. And
It's the
and
same.
if you don't like me, I'll just be over here doing what I do, and don't mind me. You know, I feel like, and the other thing is too, a lot of people don't even really know that I rap, or they just don't catch it, or maybe they do and they just don't care. Um, because that's just like the reality of it sometimes. But like, you know, like I'm not super loud about it. Like I don't, because I don't feel like it's like the loudest one in the room is the weakest, even though I am definitely like the loudest one. Like, I'll rap no mic. I mean, if you've seen videos, like, my voice is very loud. Like, when I'm feeling this music, like, I'm very loud on the stage. When I'm off the stage, I'm pretty chill and reserved. And you know, it's just, that's my way to be the extreme charismatic wise guy. And I could be confident and braggadocious and whatever, but I don't know, man. I just have my way with this music, and like I said, it's my therapy. And I appreciate everybody that like really cares, about what I'm doing. And that's, you know, I'm doing this music for me and the people that care about hip hop, that care about wrestling, that care about both, that just can appreciate good quality music. That's what I'm set out here to do.
You just said
Uh,
two important things. What brings people together: wrestling and music.
and you know what? And you know what? I gotta give. I want to be proper about this, and I want to give flowers just so it's out there on the record, on the internet. Um, Jim Johnston is really a big inspiration for that.
Oh,
And if they don't put him in the Hall of Fame, I would be very upset with WWE. He deserves it.
that's gonna happen. It has to happen.
I really hope so. I
It,
really
it
hope so.
has to happen.
Like, I'll whip out my WWF aggression tape, and that's the one with all the rappers,
Oh, I have
like
the same
Method.
one.
Dude, that record, and like Forcible Entry and all that, like that's what inspires, like, me. That's what inspires me to make something like ECW. That, and obviously, ECW, but like, that also inspires me. That music, because that was the thing. That was what totally exposed me to new bands. And I'm always on the hunt for new music, whether I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 or Need for Speed, or I was playing a wrestling game, or like, I would see it like on SmackDown, like, I think Edge's theme was like Rob Zombie or something like that,
I
and
remember that. That
you
was
know, and then
crazy.
boom, it goes to like Alter Bridge, and I loved, like I'm a big, obviously, I'm a big Limp Bizkit fan. So and Limp Bizkit, man, their first wrestling platform was ECW, and then they went to and did stuff with the WWE. And if I ever meet Taker, I gotta ask how that even came about. Just the rolling. It's like it's like my two favorite things of all time. It's like the Undertaker is my favorite wrestler, like, of all time. Like just because I mean, come on, he's the dead man.
Yep.
He's so goated. He goes way back with Paul Lee and Mean Mark. You know what I mean? Like so, I got you know he's come a long way. He's had a great career. And Limp Bizkit, I mean, come on, they're like the two like biggest things at the time, really. Like
Remember that
Undertaker.
performance? Remember the
Oh my
performance?
God.
It was out of control. It was out of this world. It made so much sense. When it
Yeah,
happened,
and
it
then
made so much sense.
yeah, and I loved when Brothers of Destruction came out because you'd
Oof.
hear the Kane music and then you'd hear it keep rolling. Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. And Limp Bizkit, man, they're so real. They gave Crack Addict to them, which was a B-side from their Results May Vary album. Like and man, as like a super supporter of like the Undertaker and Limp Bizkit and all that, and because that's what I grew up on. So like in the Aggression tape and all that, you mix just all that together, man, and slap ECW on it all. Like that's where all this inspiration comes from. Like I truly love that stuff, man. It's just something. I don't know, man. It just fuels my fire, man. And I think music plays a big part in wrestling, and I think it's kind of lacking right now, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
kind of
sure, for
it's
sure.
a snooze fest, crazy. Um, but again, that's just my opinion,
Absolutely. Do you remember RVD's second song, "One of a Kind"?
Course, of course, absolutely. Breaking Point was the band.
We grew up
Um,
watching wrestling and learning about music from the soundtracks.
so I'm saying, man, all that's coming to my mind is Word Life. This is basic thugonomics. But like arguably that's my favorite John Cena theme too, by the way. Thugonomics. I think that's better than My Time Is Now.
We were listening to John Cena rap. For that was exciting. Coming to the ring and just
Yo,
dissing who he was in the ring with.
killed it.
Remember that Bull Buchanan when he was coming out with Bull
Yeah,
Buchanan?
yeah, yeah.
Like we like John Cena raps at whatever
Yo,
age we were.
it's so funny because I don't know if did you hear Rikishi? Rikishi just dropped something. He
Really?
dropped a rap. Yeah, he dropped
Recently?
yeah, he dropped some bars over Triumph, the Triumph beat, the Wu-Tang.
Really?
It's kind of I was kind of rocking with it. But but it's crazy because like a guy like John Cena learned from Rey Mysterio and Rikishi how to rap, and then it's like before that it was Road Dogg and K Quick, and before that it was PG-13 with the Nation of Domination,
Yep.
which is but with Savio Vega and Crush. You know what I'm saying? Like really throwing it back before The Rock, before Mark Henry, all that, before Owen Hart.
Didn't they put Crush with dreads? Didn't they do something to Crush's hair?
Yeah, and then they had the real straight brother with the whole tux and everything. Yo,
Yes.
that was the most random. Like the early Nation
Was
domination was
weird.
like, yo, it was crazy, crazy, bro. Like it was nuts. It was just to see, and it's crazy because I was chilling with Guido and I forget who was chilling with him, and I asked, I was like, who was the guy that was rapping? Because I asked Savio,
Hmm.
and I thought he would remember, and he was like, I'm blanking on the name, and then someone said PG-13, and I was like, wow, like that's so crazy because that was like the first time that was really like any hip hop, like somebody coming out rapping
Hmm.
on the entrances, like in WWE. Like I know they did something in '94. I just saw, but but really coming out with like the wrestling gimmick and theme. So, but again, just all stuff that has influenced this ECW project. These little things that I pick on, like it really runs deep with me. And there's a couple double, maybe triple entendres in there. I don't know. You got to listen. If you haven't listened to the record,
Listen to the
what are you
record.
what are you doing, yo? It's kind of
Uh,
kind of a little dark, but yeah.
did you get Sabu to listen to it?
Yeah, he started.
Because
Yeah,
it's there's crazy Sabu references.
yeah. Yeah, he started. He appreciates it. You know, Sabu's like he's more of a rock guy. He loves like
Oh, absolutely.
AC/DC. He loves Judas Priest. He just told me a crazy Method Man story actually. That him and Method Man met. I don't know if there's a picture out there, but
That's something to
he
look for. Sabu and
he
Method Man.
yeah, like again, top five. Like Method Man's top five rappers for me of all time, and Sabu is obviously you know. So when he's telling me the story, I'm like, dude, like, cause he, I don't remember like what exactly he said. We had a crazy weekend, but he said something about methadone. He said methadone man, and then when he found out it was Method Man from the Wu Tang Clan, he was like,
That's amazing.
oh man, yeah. No, but yeah, he respects you know the art form and manner of which I'm doing it, and um yeah, bro, we had a crazy weekend.
You gotta talk to me about
Me
that
and
weekend because the what I saw was
oh
out of this
man,
world. I was just like, why didn't I just come this weekend? Why didn't we just
yeah,
drive down this weekend? It looked out of control, especially for you.
yeah.
Like what I saw with you, I was just like, this is crazy. It's basically like a childhood dream coming true.
I was we were driving from the airport. I picked him up, and
Sabu,
yeah, and we were talking about. I don't know how it came up. I think we were talking about like maybe ICP or something like that.
that's amazing.
Uh, uh,
It goes really well with
well,
Sabu.
well, they're from the same like kind of area in
Yes,
Michigan, like and I actually just found out that Violent J uh used to he used to wrestle under I think it was like Hatchet Hector or Hector Hatchet or something like
but
that.
they had something in ECW, no? They something with
Yeah,
Dudley Boys, if I'm not mistaken,
I
or
think so.
something along those lines.
I gotta run that back. But I know that they were around, and then they went to WWF
Yeah,
with the oddities, and then they went to WCW to do the um the faction with Vampiro.
that was crazy.
Um, yeah.
Vampiro was a psycho.
No, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. No, that he's awesome. But we were talking about Rude Boy, and there was a game I used to play called Backyard Wrestling, and Sabu was in the
Yes,
game,
yes.
and I used to play Sabu, and I would play the like the other computer would be Rude Boy, and I would just kick his ass, and he chuckled, and he was like ah, the hell with Rude Boy, so something like that. Like I don't know, he's just being wild, but like it's crazy. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, I really used to play you on the game, like, and we're here in the physical, smoking a joint on our way to wherever we got to go, and it crazy to me, bro. Honestly, it's been a wild weekend. I'll say that. Like I've just seen so many legends this entire WrestleMania weekend.
Of course. And
Um,
in your home, think of it.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Like it was nice to go home and sleep in my bed too. it
That's
was
amazing.
it was definitely, dude. Literally the after Friday night, like I ran home as soon as I possibly could, just because I wanted to see Paul Heyman's speech so bad. Like I really wanted to see it really bad. So
Did you think it should have been somebody else that inducted him, or Roman Reigns did him
I
justice?
personally should have obviously been someone else.
Yep. Or numerous people.
Yeah,
Numerous.
I did hear you say that. Someone said Tommy Dreamer, and Tommy Dreamer spoke on his podcast
Yep.
that he didn't he was like, I'm not the guy. Rob when he said about Rob when he was like
That was the best.
I was like, dude, literally.
Huge
Um
RVD fan. Like
also
huge.
shout outs to this joint I'm smoking, Almighty Westside Gun weed, uh, wrapped by the RVD pristine rolling papers. Let me hold on. I
That's
gotta I gotta
amazing.
I gotta
RVD
plug in
rolling papers.
RVD rolling papers with Westside Gun weed.
I saw the new
Yeah.
package for the West Side Gun weed.
I made him laugh too. I said something funny to him. He was like, he had the bags and he was like, they're kind of resi, and I was like, well, I mean, it kind of adds to the authenticity of you. He's- he was like, yo, that's the truth, and I was like, yo, why wouldn't the bags be resi, man? Fuck it.
How crazy is the last couple of years hip hop and wrestling? Like to me it's mind-blowing because we grew up listening to so many artists that maybe reference them here and there, right? We had the aggression, we had a little bit of hip hop with wrestling, right? We had that, you know, it was sprinkled there. We had the John Cena. But now in the
Three six
last,
3-6 Mafia with Mark Henry. Come on,
right?
3-6. Come on, 3-6 Mafia and Mark Henry on SmackDown.
Okay.
Legendary,
And
legendary.
and
And 3-6 was super, super huge at that time. Super huge. Like
it was probably right after they won the Grammy, or a couple of years after, if I'm not
I think it might
mistaken.
it might have been around the same time,
But
or
yeah, like,
maybe yeah. So, I'm not sure of the timeline, but yeah, they. But I remember them being on SmackDown. They did. It had to be like 05, 06, I
yeah,
think.
around that time. But yeah, just
Yeah, man.
wrestling and hip hop in the last couple of years is just, and the reason why, it's because at the age bracket of us growing up with wrestling, right? Like, you grew up with wrestling, you're rhyming about wrestling. West Side Gun grew up watching wrestling. Yes, he's a bit older than us, but he watched so much of it that it's influenced his music.
Right.
Fourth Rope, all that stuff. It makes you more of a fan of the music. It makes you more invested because there's all the stuff you love growing up is right there in front of you. And that's why your project is attracting, right? That's why you gravitate to something like that. People in our age bracket, man, you give them that CD or you show them that cover, they're just like,
Yeah.
"What is this? I gotta listen to it." I'm
Yeah.
pressing play right away. Like, if I didn't know you and I would have scrolled on Instagram, or I was gonna be on Bandcamp and I would have seen the cover from somebody posting it or reposting it or whatnot, I would have been like, I'm pressing play. I have no idea who Jay Rhymes is. I'm gonna find out, hopefully, but I'm pressing play because his album cover is attracting to me because there's wrestling. It's something I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And
You
and
know,
we
I'm I'm
and we
I'm
do
I'm
that.
the best you never heard of. That's what I like to say. I'm the best you never heard
And we do that because a lot of the album
of.
covers back then were
Yeah.
album covers, right? You saw the person's face on the album cover, or you saw something else that might have had to do with the album, but usually you had the artist on the album cover. Now there's so much more in the artwork. It's more interesting. And you did that with this. That's why I
Yeah.
asked you
I'm look.
before. Why
Well,
that as the
I'm
cover?
looking at it now, man.
You
It's
know what
just
I mean?
it's yeah. It's just all. I think all these wrestlers. I appreciate and respect their work in the ring and what they've done for ECW, and all of their work has inspired me. You know, and just the energy of you go anywhere. It's like if you know the three letters, the real most three dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment will forever be ECW.
Living dangerously, right?
Straight up like that, bro. I mean, and yeah, like again, man, I handpicked everything for this record. I like the first thing. you know what? The first thing I did when I went in to do the record, when the beat was going, like the beat was just going, I was like, yo, I need the ECW chant over this beat. Like, right, that was the first thing we did for the intro. Like, I thought of that on the way to fucking like to go put this record together, because my mind was just like was going like 100 miles an hour to get to the studio, and I was just like in super adrenaline mode, and I was like, damn, I need to put the ECW chant in there somehow, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then and then I heard the beat, and I was like, yo, over the beat. And it was like so instantaneous, like it just worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, crazy, bro, crazy,
So,
just insane.
so what was the process for you? You went to the studio. You had everything laid out,
Yeah,
and beats were already there because you have three different producers, right?
yeah. Again, the first beat was the last beat, and that was from my homie, that my boy
Mm-hmm.
Arkin, that mixed and mastered the record. Shout outs to you, bro. Um, and he also did my next EP as well. He mixed and mastered that as well. And yeah, he's a really solid engineer, incredible producer.
Mm-hmm.
As you can hear from the first beat, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying. And he sent me that a while ago. I've been sitting on that beat for a little bit, and I wanted to do something with it, and I'm glad that and again, it was originally supposed to be for the record, but it was looking like it wasn't gonna be there, and then I just last minute just made it. I made it happen. Like it was crazy. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like fate in a way. Like it was just sealed.
It made
It was just
sense.
yeah, it's just destined. It was just destined to go that way, and I'm so thankful. And just like the fact that we were able to, and I actually like did some, some updates and recording and stuff like that day too. So the fact that I was able to get everything pretty much pieced together, like the songs fully done, like in that day, like I was like, all right, good, because that was the part I was most worried about. um I haven't had much luck with going to studios, to be honest, or places where I feel comfortable to record, because I just been through so much BS in the city. And it's unfortunate to say, but like for my art to come out the way it did, like I had to be in a place of comfortability, and that's why it sounds like that. Because like I feel like maybe one or two songs like I've done in the past, like was because I was in a space. I don't think it sounds that good because I was in a space where I didn't feel comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and this record just felt so comfortable to me, like where like writing it at home, going to my brother Arkin to really piece everything together. Um,
Peace to him
you
because he did
know,
a great job at it.
yeah, man. And I kind of like I kind of conducted everything. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say I'm a producer by any means, but I definitely was saying grab this, and and he just, I don't know, we just have a way, you know what I'm saying? And and yeah, he's done a lot of great stuff with other artists. Him and my brother D Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my bro D Stallone, Solid Ones Only. You know what I'm saying? They about to drop. I would definitely say probably one of the albums of the year, because it's just something so different and nostalgic. Like and that's the thing, man. He's like Arkin. He's mad versatile. D Stallone, King of the Hooks. You know what I'm saying? So like be on the lookout for their project. It's gonna be dope,
Absolutely.
virtuoso. You know what I mean? Got to put the homies over. You know what I mean? But the other beats that I had, man, shout outs to Nino. I
My
think
two
he, I
favorite tracks. My two favorite tracks.
a matter of respect in November.
Yes, sir.
Okay, word.
I
Yeah,
love the
Nino.
beats.
Yeah, Nino went crazy. We're gonna do some more stuff. He's in Canada too right now, I believe. Actually,
Oh,
I don't know
really?
where he. Yeah, yeah, and he and I forget where he's from in Italy. I'm so bad, I forget things, but I gotta tap you with him, man. He's a really cool
Absolutely.
dude.
Speaking of
Maybe he'll.
Nino,
Yeah.
what I love is his beats on this sound like entrance songs if you
Oh
were a
yeah,
wrestler. That's why they
they knock.
stick out to me. That's why they're my favorite songs on the album.
Yo, yeah, they knock for sure,
Hmm.
100%. I think the underrated record is "Living Dangerously." I
Great
think
track.
that's yeah. I think that one's just like real smooth. Like, I'm a little bit more laid back on that one,
Hmm.
but I'm still, you know what I mean, going in doing my thing, you know. And I'm happy with the sequencing and everything. I feel like it flows nicely, and man, it still blows my mind that I did something like this.
Good for
Not to
you.
say that I couldn't do it, but it's just like I'm just so happy with it, man.
I'm happy
And
that you're happy, and
and
it's a.
that's what matters to me.
Hmm.
That I'm happy, and that other people are happy. Like, that's who I'm catering to. Anybody who doesn't listen or doesn't care, I can't. You know what I mean? I like I got the blinders on. You know what I mean? So,
But you also did this project for yourself, right?
oh hell yeah. Nah, I wanted to do this, man. And shout outs to disc makers right over the bridge from me, like 15 minutes away, who printed the CDs. Yeah, they're nice. And yeah, it's honestly, the response has been really cool. I couldn't have asked for anything better, and everybody that's just taking their time to really like care about the record, you know, and I care about it so much. So it's been overwhelmingly awesome and fun, and I'm having a great time, and it's like that's the I would say the simple principle of what hip hop, like what real hip hop to me was built on, is having fun. Like, if you're not having fun, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Money's cool, but man, I'm having fun
Hard work pays off.
for real. It's the small wins too. You take the small wins, man, because it could be nothing. You know, I like to humble myself in that way. Because really, honestly, nobody could care, and I've been in that position where I think sometimes you don't always get that response, and sometimes it becomes a little discouraging. You feel defeated at times, and you don't have direction of where to go. It's like sometimes, like I look, like, for example, I love Natalia, Natty. I mean, she's obviously a legacy wrestler.
Hmm.
Her dad, the Anvil, Uncle Brett. You know what I mean? But sometimes when she comes out, it's like it's
Hmm.
nothing. So like sometimes and she's had her moments where it's been cheers and boos, and but it's like I don't want to be like just kind of a hamster on a wheel, just kind of running in the same. You know what I mean? I want to branch out, man. I want to do cool things. I want to have fun. Like doing all this WrestleMania stuff, and then it's like, boom, I'm going to Paisan Con this weekend in Jersey. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Paisan Khan.
yeah,
Explain.
it, it's it, it's literally our culture festival. You know what I mean? Uh, like Lorraine Bracco is gonna be there from Goodfellas. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Karen, yeah. Justina Valentine's gonna be there. Who else is gonna be there? Damn, there's like a whole bunch, like Tommy DeVito.
Wow.
Uh, yeah,
That's amazing.
like it's just a whole bunch of like actor, like some of the guys from like The Sopranos. Not like the super big actors, but the guys that mattered, that played a part in the storyline to help make the show amazing. Uh, and that's why Sopranos is like literally the number one show
Of
ever
all time. And
of all
probably,
time.
and I'm gonna say
Don't
this.
argue with us. Don't argue with
I'm
us. Like,
gonna
it
say
ain't
this.
happening.
I'm gonna
But the
say this.
Wire, the Wire's
Number two, number three.
sure
But
number two for me,
the Sopranos is the greatest piece of television ever created.
without a doubt.
Ever
The fact that
created.
the fact that it was even, and not, and just to add insult to injury here, the fact that, oh my, I have videos on my phone of Jerry the King Lawler and Mick Foley putting over Sopranos oh, what was the promo with Mick? And he was like, put it this way, Shano. I'm Tony Soprano, and you're the guy at the bada bing who's cleaning up the toilets. Like, and
Yes.
I was losing it. I was losing it when I heard this. And they were talking about someone had a broken kneecap, and and Jerry King was like, it was sort of like a mob hit, bada bing. I literally lost my shit. I was laughing so hard, and
You need to watch Sopranos once a year. That's it's just
yeah,
part of
no
life.
doubt,
You
yeah.
can't go
Yeah.
365 without watching Sopranos, right?
I tell people, yeah, it's at least worth a watch a year. Honestly, you know, it really, man. I've been so lucky to meet a good amount of the cast from the show, and shout outs to my boy Time Immemorial, Danny B, for for all that. He's the reason I met all those Sopranos actors, which shout outs to all of them just for being a part of something incredibly life changing for TV industry for a lot of people.
Oof.
Really low key, if I really want to stretch it and really put it over, it really created a lot of jobs for people.
Oh, absolutely. Just as much as Oz did, because I think Oz was that
Yeah,
staple show that
for
really
sure.
made actors and actresses really be able to do
Yeah,
different things,
put
like
like
branch
HBO
out.
over big
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh,
yeah, for sure. But but anyway, it's like, but that again, that's just a part of me. The Sopranos, like so it's like it allows me, like I could do this wrestling stuff, and then boom, I can go to Paisan Con where it's like all these incredibly talented people who are Italian of the Italian descent, mostly American, and yeah, it's I mean it's just that there's going to be obviously great food, and
absolutely.
uh
Great food,
it,
the best
yeah,
food.
yeah, literally honestly the I don't want to say the only food, but but no, man. And then I'm in Brooklyn, and then I'm going to like the heart of hip hop.
That's
After
amazing.
that, and I'm moving and grooving, man. I'm just the extreme charismatic wise guy, moving and grooving a certain way throughout things. But yeah, man, it coming off this incredible WrestleMania weekend, man. It's just it's been nuts.
I gotta ask you. You just said WrestleMania. I gotta ask you.
Yes,
Are you happy with the final outcome with Cody winning?
yes. Ultimately, I'm because honestly, I mean, like it was just that time. Uh, uh, you know, maybe I'm one of those guys that follows the writing. Because like I'm a writer, so I mean, obviously, me
Mm-hmm.
writing music all the time, so it's like I can relate to the writing, and the story and stuff that they're trying to convey. And I like that they want to set. I think if they do it the right way, they book it the right way, all things considered. With long term creative and booking. I think they'll do a pretty good job, and I could see them already kind of maybe setting some stuff up that trajectory wise could go there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously with Punk, coming back and all that. Also, by the way, I loved his interview on the MMA thing
Was
that he did.
amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. I was like, damn. I'm not really a crazy big fan of Punk in the ring. I don't think he's like,
Me neither.
I think he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's the character, right?
just
Just the
yeah,
character.
but just stop getting hurt, bro. And if you're gonna get hurt again, just go to NXT and just
Chill.
run that. Hey, you know what? One thing, a sidebar, really quickly. I just love that DX is running shit now. Can we just can we just? They used to stick it, to fucking to Mr. Shitstain over there back in the day.
Yeah.
Like they used to stick it to him hard, and even when they did their reunion, they were beefing. They were
Loved.
beefing with, and it's like they're beefing with the boss, and now they're they're the boss. Like it's just it just cracks me up, dude. I guess that would be the irony. Like
DX is, think of it, DX, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H, who took wrestling to another level that changed wrestling. Yes,
it makes sense though. It makes sense that they would be running things, but it's just still crazy to me. But
and I'm gonna add this, and then we'll get back to it.
yeah,
They're running shit while there's people sitting at home complaining,
let them complain.
right? And if
Keep
people know
keep
wrestling,
yapping.
they know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And but as far as like me being happy, I think listening to your the podcast episode earlier, with talk hearing everybody's opinions about WrestleMania. I agree with there was some things I liked, there was some things I didn't
Hmm.
like. Uh, I knew LA Knight was gonna win.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll just put that out there. Um, I was there, so like it was weird. It was weird for me to see like all the behind the scenes setup of everything uh happening. Obviously, watching it back on camera, is like it's kind of weird to be like, and I was like, damn, because they're really kind of taking long. Like some of the entrances were really long.
15
You know,
minutes, 20.
yeah,
I think it was 21 minutes in total.
like for night one, I'll tell you right now. So let's do WrestleMania real quick since I was there. It was cold. It sucked. It was it was it
It was
was
really cold, huh?
yo. It was not a good time, but it was still a good time. But like yeah, I would say I had pretty decent seats. Um, I was still squinting a little bit, but it was still worth it though. And what was the first match? It was Rhea and Becky, right?
Phenomenal match.
Yeah,
Phenomenal match.
yeah. I love that they brought out the band that she likes, Motionless in
They
White.
did an amazing job, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're from PA. I used to listen to them like years ago, and they got some cool songs. I'm not really into them now, but it makes sense. It honestly it makes sense. And that was really cool, kind of showcasing something at least from like the home state, you know. Uh, and I was actually kind of surprised because I didn't know that was happening when I saw Motionless in White. I was like, oh
Hmm.
shit, So that was kind of cool. The match, I knew Rhea. I mean, there was no way Becky was winning
Oh,
that.
for sure. Rhea's gonna be probably the longest reigning women's champion of all time. We know that. We don't have to have a conversation about it. It's happening. Like
Yeah, man, for sure. That's uh uh my God, I was there and I can't even remember the matches. Jesus Christ. What
were you
was the
there
next?
were you there both nights?
Yeah, yeah, I was there, but I don't remember the order of the
Jesus.
matches. Bro, when you roll with Sabu, you have a crazier weekend than like honestly, me rolling with Sabu is honestly almost crazier than Mania.
Of
Like
course.
slightly. Like
That makes no
and I
sense.
like I mean, wait, what makes no sense?
Like I can't even think of it. Like in my brain
Oh yeah,
it's not putting the pieces of the puzzle together. How can you be rolling with one of your favorite wrestlers of all time, hanging out with them?
And Fonzie, the manager of champions, the referee of champions.
Like I can't think of it. Like just thinking about being with RVD in my brain for me is just it doesn't work. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
work. I would probably be mute the whole time because I wouldn't be able to talk.
I don't like. I see Rob. I talk to Rob.
Fuck.
I've smoked with Rob, but I really roll with Fonzie and Sabu a little bit more.
I have a Rob Van Dam toy still in the box and it's the first ever one they did for when he joined WWF. The first one they did.
Can I see it? Do you
Yeah.
have it there?
Is it here? Yeah, yeah. I'll grab it. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Oh man, dude.
It's yellow.
Yo, yo, you got to get him to sign that.
Well, he's coming to Montreal for Comic Con this year.
Okay, bet.
And I'm going with this, hopefully, and hopefully it's not like $200 to meet him, but I'm gonna get him to sign this. Like, this is my childhood toy that's still in the box. It's yellow.
It would probably. I mean, that's wild. I could see it now as you say it, but I didn't peep it at first though. But I would say I'm trying to think of how much he would be for here, like if he was doing a convention here, like because they might try to pull a premium. It's a premium item, so they'll try to upcharge you. I'm like, out of here,
I'll just hit him with a chair. It's fine.
Ah, nah, but I think his autograph's going for like 80. He's a hot commodity, man. He's RVD.
They'll sign my
I I
toy.
I respect it. You
Sign my
know.
toy and it'll come to the grave with me. It is what it is, right?
Right. You know. But yeah, I was gonna say, uh, damn, what other matches?
What's your favorite match? What was your favorite match of the
My
evenings?
my favorite match. Damn. I think for night two, it was definitely obviously Cody and Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, the Undertaker showing up was like I don't know. Like I would say I don't know, man. It's hard.
Did you
It's hard
see
to say.
anything or no?
No, yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I saw the whole thing. Um, he was it was crazy too because he was in a press box and everybody was freaking out earlier, and we were all trying to like look and see like it was like down below
Okay.
and look we were trying to look and see like what was going on, and I saw the video today of it was Undertaker, and I was like, oh, that's why everybody was freaking out because he was in like a lower level suite press box thing or whatever. Um, like, but I would say, man, that one was really good. I did like. I'm glad that R-Truth and Miz won tag
Absolutely.
titles. I I
Absolutely.
I can't believe Dumb and Dumber. I call them Dumb and Dumber, by the way.
That's
Won the
hilarious.
won the SmackDown titles.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen.
But you know what? They gotta lose that immediately. They gotta lose that to like you know what man. This is just a dream booking. I want to see the OC get the titles. I want because man,
Won't happen.
I
It won't
know,
happen.
I know.
It's really not
Seeing
gonna happen.
seeing Luke and Carl in the ring recently that qualifier match was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I loved seeing them in the ring. Like
More emphasis on the tag team division, please. They need to.
they're
They
they're
need to do
such an
more.
underrated tag team. They're like I mean they're obviously vets, right?
Yeah.
But like man, they should be utilized more. They give me like the old like uh what was that DOA or something, Disciples of Apocalypse or
Oh
something
yeah.
like that was like Crush and like after uh
What was his
what was
name?
the Crush and there was some other dude, can't
He
remember.
he ended up in the Nation of Domination. No.
Crush was in the Nation of Domination, but when Savio got kicked and then Crush got kicked, they formed their own factions. Savio
Yes.
did Los Boricuas um and I just seen them wrestle the FBI, by the way, with Deanna Perrazzo. That was insane.
Really.
FBI and Deanna Perrazzo versus some I can't remember for the life of me the other woman wrestler that was in the ring,
I have it
but
here.
it was Los Boricuas
Crush,
versus
Chains,
yeah
Skull,
Chains,
and 8 Ball.
might have been Skull, but yeah, man, like,
Crazy
man,
weekend.
yo, I took Sabu to West Side Gun, by the way.
Wow. Yes, yeah, I
I don't,
saw
I
you
don't,
on stage with Sabu.
yeah.
How was that?
Um, I don't know if I want to pull the curtain back on that one, but it was
Sabu at a West Side Gun show. Malenko, while you're editing this episode, just try and put a picture of that together. West Side Gun and Sabu. Sabu and West Side Gun. That's just like that's like that's like
yeah,
man, that's crazy.
yeah. No, he was all for it, but um, yeah. Shout outs to Thousand Words for being a real one. Uh,
Good human being. I met him.
yeah,
Really, 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 really good human being.
real one for stepping in on the fly.
Now, I saw the video. It was
I don't know if you saw the whole video, but yes, I got a chair in front of me as well. So
I didn't see that.
I don't know who has the full video.
Find me it,
Um,
please.
I don't know. Somebody's got it. They I mean, it's fine. I mean, but I had to, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to pull the curtain back too much, but I want to leave some mystique to it. But yeah, it was just it was just if you knew the particulars of how this happened, it's just like, wow, and
It's
what the
just
fuck.
crazy thinking of it.
It's just what the fuck. But yeah, no, man. Shouts, Thousand Words. Shouts to Sabu for rolling for the
Wrestling and hip
show.
hop. I could say it all show. Wrestling
Uh,
and hip hop.
it was nuts. Um, but anyway, but yeah, but back to WrestleMania. 6 pack ladder match was dope. Uh, man, what was the other match? Oh, the trios tag match with Bianca, Jade, and Naomi.
I
I
didn't
thought it
watch
was
it.
uh it was it was cool. Like, it was nice to see, you know, all three of them together. I
Hmm.
mean, I love Trinity. I think she's a great talent. She's kind of like the bet of everything. I'm glad she's back with WWE. I hope they do more with her. But it felt like kind of like the Avengers in a way,
I
like
get it.
seeing all three of them together.
Hmm.
It was cool. It was powerful. Um, the match was interesting, but it felt like it didn't last long though. At
No,
least
it
to me.
wasn't long. It was about 10, 12 minutes because I remember because I had a full blown asthma attack during the match. And I need
Oh man,
I didn't have an asthma pump,
damn,
so I needed to go to
that's
my
terrible,
in-laws.
bro.
I needed to go to my in-laws and get an asthma pump
Fuck,
and would drive all the way back home. Yeah, like I had a full blown asthma attack. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't breathe. I was like,
bro.
what the fuck? And I have no asthma pump in my house. I can't find it. So,
Jesus, thank God for the fucking in-laws. Holy shit,
yeah,
fuck, man, that's just terrible.
it's life.
But what match did you make it back in time for?
The match right after. Like it was
What was
going into the next match. What was the match right
what?
after?
Yeah, can you bring up the card? Because I'm totally blanking right now. I'm terribly sorry. This almighty weed and these RVD rolling papers are killing me right now.
You gotta send me a picture of those RVD rolling papers. I've never seen them before.
Um, Here, I'll put them up. Like, you kind of see them a little bit.
Yes. That's fucking cool. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, no, hell yeah. I like them. I think they're quality. So much that I bug Rob every time I see him. Like I'm like, Rob, do you have rolling papers?
And
We it was it, we were playing tag all weekend. Like, because like when I saw him, he didn't have him. Like every time, and I'm like, and then I finally got him, and I was like, thanks, bro. I
and
know it was a struggle.
You gotta do me a favor. Next time you see him, just do me a favor and tell him, look, listen, there's this dude that does a podcast from Montreal, and he's actually done a 5-star frog splash off a ladder when he was in high school onto a table, and there was nobody on that table. Thank you. That's all I'm asking you for.
Tell him yourself when he gets there, man.
It's true.
You
Hopefully I
got it.
go. Hopefully I go. It
Nah,
was.
you gotta go. You gotta
I'm
go for
going.
sure, bro.
It was Sami Zayn versus Gunter.
Oh, um, I was kind of actually surprised that Sammy won, to be honest, a little bit.
Me too.
I
It
kind
made
of
no
thought
sense.
Gunther was gonna retain.
Me too. They did Gunter so wrong. That's not a way he should have lost. It made no sense. It Sami Zayn. Well, look, it was a 3-week story for him to get to WrestleMania to face Gunter, and he got destroyed 90% of the match, and then all of a sudden, Sami Zayn is having a seizure on the floor, and ends up giving him a spine buster on the top rope, and then the whatever the kick is called, because I don't pay attention to Sami Zayn, and gives it to him twice, and then pins him. It's like, no, you can't make Gunter go out that way. You can't make Gunter go out that way. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was I personally I thought it was going to be Chad Gable facing him, which I thought would have been the better match. But I know
Absolutely.
why they did Sammy because he was kind of like the first to get beat, and it was personal, and the wife was involved and whatever.
Boring.
Um, yeah, those angles are unless it's like I thought the Rey Mysterio Dom stuff was great. Uh,
Andrade.
yep, dude. Yo, I totally agree. Andrade is like he's future world champion, 100%. Like
110%.
he's epic, dude. He's epic. Like and Charlotte, he's got Charlotte on his arm. Yeah, crazy. He's got the life, man.
Your favorite
He
moment
really.
from your weekend. That's what I want to hear. I probably know what it is already, but I want to hear it.
I mean, definitely going to WrestleMania was one of them for sure.
Hmm.
I do have to mention that that was a highlight. Um, Also, the other thing I was gonna say, I love that Triple H comes out to his old theme. Um, I love that he's been bringing that because I was so tired of that Bow Down Kings of Kings song. Like it's cool, I like it, but come on, man, the game, classic, classic. So hearing that live was awesome, a highlight for me. Besides Mania, oh my God, bro, just just being with Sabu, honestly, really, just being around him and um, he's a handful, but I love him, man.
That's
He's
crazy.
he's
I could
he's
I could
epic.
imagine. I could
He's
imagine.
epic, man. He's so epic. Uh, and he's such a cool dude. There was a little mishap over the weekend with GCW, and he no showed their Hall of Fame. Uh,
Shit.
he had a good reason though. It's funny because like everybody that had anything to say about it was like, "Well, I met Sabu and he's cool," and I'm like, "Duh." Like, of course he's cool. He had his reasons,
It's Sabu. Let
but
him. He could
but
do what
they
he
try to
wants.
they try to make it seem like it was a bad thing. He just changed his mind and money was refunded. So, but yeah, man. I love working with him. He's a great guy. Uh, and I'm always happy to do stuff for him. I just genuinely enjoy it. He has so many great stories too. Like that's the other thing. Like him and Fonzie have like the story. Fonzie has like the cool like old school stories because like he was like rolling with like Andre the Giant and like he had a couple. He
Shit.
has yeah. He's got cut you man. well, he was a ref back in
Yes.
WWF, like before he went and did everything with Taz and you know and
Crazy.
and and it's like it's so cool being with I like to call them the Extreme Three, uh, which is Fonzie, Sabu, and RVD.
I
Because
can't even imagine.
they don't even really have like a name to them, like but I call them the Extreme Three, and me we're the Hardcore Four. So,
I love it.
but yeah, no, I love just seeing those guys hanging out. Like we just smoke, we chill. Like like fans will come up and chat and you know, and also I was shout outs to Fonzie. I love him dearly. Like he's literally the best guy in the world. He gifted me uh a chair and a kendo stick signed by him, Sandman, and Sabu uh
That
for
is
literally
crazy.
literally just for helping and taking care of
Wow.
him. Like I like picking him up from the airport, picking Sabu up. Like it was their gift to me. So
Wow.
yeah, kendo sticks over yonder somewhere. But
Next time I see you, just hit me across the head with it.
I was like, dude, this is yeah. So like getting that gift. Also, my homie Action Figure gifted me and his and the lovely Mrs. the Wifeinger, I like to call her. Always running the game. They gifted me a Deathstroke mask because I love Deathstroke. He's like one of my favorite
That's
uh,
crazy.
comic book.
That is crazy.
Yeah, they gifted me like this awesome, and it was like $30, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna come back for it, and then they just presented it. So shout outs to my boy Action Figure. Also shout outs to him too because he's another inspiration, by the way. I wanted to mention him for ECW because like he put me on his wrestling school project. We did a song called Ruthless Aggression. I was the first artist to shoot a music video in Suplex as well.
Saw that
And
video. Fantastic video.
yeah,
Fantastic.
so and he made the beat and shout outs to Lido, uh Harsh Kappa, I believe on Instagram, but Carlito Beats, dope producer, videographer. Yeah, he shot the video, and yeah, it was a crazy experience, and he kind of gave me like new life, like getting into the wrestling and hip hop because I was like really looking for like a new direction, and I was already kind of going in that way anyway, and it just so happened to work out, and I think if I didn't do wrestling school, I really don't know if ECW would really be a thing. So I want to attribute that for sure to being a part of why ECW
Hmm.
happened. Because of Action, man. He's really the first like artist that really like producer that really like put me on like like that's like the first collab really I've done, and then I just followed it up with Words, my boy Words from up in Canada, and Mav from the Cloth.
I gotta give you
Uh,
props to that. That was something I needed to tell you. You were on a song with Words and Mav, and
yeah,
you
man,
went on
love those guys.
at the end, and
Yeah, I know.
you
It's
had an
hard to follow.
dude. You had an amazing, amazing, amazing verse on that, man. I listened to the song today, and what Q did with your voice on that song, where it's at towards the end, you get that staticky, like you're in like a microphone, but a different. It's like, you know what I mean. Like I can't
Oh
really
yeah,
explain it. What he did
yeah,
with
yeah,
your voice, man, is just really really amazing. And
yeah.
and
No, he
and
did
you held
something
your own.
special.
You held
Thank
your
you.
own with Mav, because Mav is that guy, man. Mav is that dude.
I
And
tell him all the
Words.
time too. I message him like if not like every other week, like every couple weeks, and I'm just like because I hear something new from him, and I'm like so like he's literally like one of my favorite artists of like the last decade. Like as
Absolutely.
far as like hip hop, like I got my little list and all that like of my favorites like Ito and Danielson
Oof.
and Jay Royale and Eddie Kane and
Eddie Kane's new
all
project is crazy.
and like all hail YT and man,
You
there's
held your own. Props to you, man. That was and hearing
yeah,
you on
Mav.
there was on
Shouts to Mav. Shouts to everybody, but yeah.
on words in Haikyuu's Weapon X, man. Good for you,
All
man.
right,
You did a
we,
really
we, we
great
got
job with that.
we got a follow up coming. Me and Words. We're doing a
Let's do
sequel
it.
track to that. Yeah, that's gonna be heavy. I'm not sure when that's coming out, but I think it's coming out soonish. I believe. I don't know.
That's
But
amazing.
hope, but hopefully. Oh yeah, hopefully soon, man. Um, I wanted to ask you, you know, your favorite your favorite moments of the WrestleMania. Yeah, your favorite matches.
Damian Priest
Yeah, dude.
was crazy cool. Seeing
You know,
that,
it's it was funny too. I said, yo, what if Damien's music hits right now?
and it
And then
happened.
it happened 30 seconds later, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Like to be the crowd, the crowd pop. But the one thing I will say, I was gonna say that kind of was a little bit of a buzzkill.
Hmm.
Everybody in my section was dead. Like
Night one was dead. Night one was dead
no,
across the board.
but even night two, like where I was, because even on night one, like it was like I could hear people from like clearly from other sections in the stadium. Like and my wherever I was, like well, I was on the L side. Like I was like probably like facing towards
Wow.
the camera.
Yeah, I saw
And
pictures of how close you were.
yeah, so I mean there was just no one was really lively or anything. It was kind
Weird.
of
It's mania.
yeah, it
It's
was
weird.
yeah, like dude, I heard people from like the right, like in the 200s, like they were, oh my God, it was a group of them. They were hella loud, and I was like, man, they got to be from like the UK or like from
They
like
drove down for sure,
Ireland
110%.
or somewhere or the just somewhere cool, man. Like because where everybody in my section was just like they were way too quiet, man. I was like, man, you guys are way too cool. Like you guys are too cool for this whole event. Like it was just it was weird, man. But it was still a good time though.
Yeah,
But yo,
absolutely.
Damien definitely that was a cool match. Uh, the
The street fight.
Philadelphia, uh, it was okay. I don't think it was that great, but
I like seeing Bubba Ray Dudley.
I
That
don't I
whole
don't I don't
no,
like seeing I don't like seeing him at all.
really.
But that's all I'll say about that. So
That's amazing. Um,
yeah,
so
respect to the Dudley boys, but yeah, I definitely booed when he came out.
really,
Hell yeah.
next to Sabu,
No, Sabu wasn't there. He wasn't at Mania. But what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
so no, just before we get out of here,
For sure.
I usually do a little something with the guests. It's your first time on here, so we're gonna do top 5 in 5 seconds.
Oh my God.
You
Top
probably already
five.
know where I'm going with this. All right.
The pressure.
Okay. So I need your
All right.
top 5 ECW wrestlers.
Oh man.
Go.
RVD, Sabu, Terry Funk, New Jack, Guido.
Your top 5 Philly artists.
Reef the Lost Cause, Black Thought, OT the Real, myself. Was that four?
That's 4.
Five. Shit. Schoolie D.
Wow. And the last one is your top non ECW wrestlers of all time.
Uh, man.
Completely failed the whole game, but it's okay. I want to hear it
Uh,
anyways.
I I'm sorry, man. This almighty weed and RVD papers. Sorry, I keep plugging that. But man, Sting, Undertaker, Kane, DX.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Dude, I just want to tell you I appreciate you for being on. Thank you.
Good.
Uh,
Thank you, man. This has been an incredible conversation.
Anything you want to add? Anything at all?
Anything to add? Um, Listen to the record. Listen to ECW. Uh, Tap in, support. I appreciate it, and I give it back tenfold. Um, yeah. Shout
Bye.
outs to, shout outs to the my guy right there,
Thank you.
Paisan. You know what I'm saying, Steven? Appreciate you, brother.
I
Like
appreciate you.
for having me on. It is a true honor to get up here and have a dope, solid conversation and you know and especially talk to somebody who's so passionate about music like I am. You know, like we you know we connect on a lot of great levels, man, and
Absolutely.
you know and the way you support, man, you know that's the other thing too, man. So and
It's well deserved, man. You put in hard work, so why not
thank you, bro.
support really great artists and just like somebody like yourself that put out this project and you know what, it sticks. Go back and listen to it after a week of not listening to it, and the art form is there. So,
Yeah,
so,
and
so
it
great
came
job on the
together
project.
so yeah, it came together so authentically, man, and it wasn't forced, and man, I forever love this. This is my, even if this was my only thing that I ever dropped, I would be okay with that.
Wow.
Truthfully, truthfully, I would definitely be okay with that. But that is not the case, because I got like a whole bunch more crazy stuff coming, man. It's gonna be an insane year. We're only in the first quarter, so or rounding out the first quarter, so it's
Cannot
gonna
wait.
be, yeah, brother. It's gonna be insane, and I'm always looking forward to new episodes of the All Time
Absolutely.
Podcast. So,
This is your
um,
platform to come on here and we talk hip hop, we talk wrestling, and talk about the art form that you're bringing forward.
dude,
100%.
I will happily be a guest on here whenever I am welcome, and I
Absolutely.
appreciate you, my friend. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
J
It means a lot,
Rhymes,
man.
J Rhymes on Bandcamp. Buy the album, message him, tell him you want to buy the CD because having the product in hand is important.
It's very important, man.
Okay?
It's very important, and I'm
Uh,
reasonable too. So,
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on, man. I appreciate you very much. I am your host, the Ayatollah of Hip Hop, the whole damn show, the Radar Podcaster, and one half of the podcast tag team champions of the world with my special guest, the extreme, charismatic, wise guy, J fucking Rhymes.
that's right. The Extreme Primetime MC, live in full effect, man. We here. Much love, Steven. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, man, still effing free. 9-3. You know what it is and where I be.
Peace.